Brother demanded my $1.8 million beach house. As his wedding gift, used our dead parents to guilt me. His fiance's tearful call changed everything. My brother Wells called me on a Sunday afternoon and told me he wanted my beach house as a wedding gift. I thought he was joking for the first 11 seconds. He was not joking. The beach house is a 4-bedroom on Tybee Island that I bought 2 years ago for $1.8 million in cash. I paid in cash because I'd sold a software company I'd built over 9 years and I didn't want a mortgage. Wells knew the house. He'd been there twice. Both times he'd complained that the second floor guest room faced the wrong direction for sunrise. He said on this Sunday call that he and his fiancée Brinsley were getting married in October and that the beach house would be the most meaningful gift you could possibly give us as a family. He said it would honor mom and dad. He said mom had always wanted a beach house and that giving it to him was what she would have wanted. Our parents died 6 years ago in a car accident on I-95. They never owned a beach house. They never talked about a beach house. Mom was scared of the ocean. I said no. I said it kindly. I said, Wells, I love you, but no. He laughed in a way that wasn't a laugh and said I'd think about it. I hung up. Over the next 4 weeks, I received 17 phone calls from aunts, uncles, cousins, and one of my mother's old church friends. Every single one of them brought up mom and dad. Every single one of them said some version of, your parents would be so disappointed. My Aunt Cordelia, my mother's sister, called me crying and said mom had told her on her deathbed that she wanted me to take care of Wells no matter what. Mom died on impact. She didn't have a deathbed. I told Cordelia that. Cordelia hung up on me. Wells started posting on social media. Vague posts. Some people forget where they came from. Money changes people. Family is supposed to be family. His followers, most of whom were also my followers because we have overlapping family, started messaging me asking if everything was okay. I stopped responding. I changed my number. He found the new one through a cousin within 9 days. Then on a Thursday night at 10:47 p.m., I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I almost didn't pick up. I'm glad I did. It was Brinsley. She was whispering. She was in her car in a parking lot. She said she had 10 minutes before Wells expected her home. She said she needed to tell me something and she didn't know who else to call. She said she was sorry for everything. I asked her what she was sorry for. She started crying. She said Wells had told her, the week they got engaged, that the beach house would be theirs by the wedding and that he had a plan. She said she thought he meant they were going to rent it from me. She said it wasn't until last weekend that she'd overheard him on the phone with Cordelia, coaching her on what to say about my mother's deathbed. The deathbed story was rehearsed. She said he told her, after a bottle and a half of wine, that once he had the deed in his name, he was going to sell it, take the money, and buy a place in Charleston, which Brinsley had never heard of and hadn't been consulted on. She said he'd said, and she quoted, she's a soft touch about mom, she'll cave. She asked me if I had any idea what she should do. I asked her if she had access to that Google Doc. She did. They shared a laptop. She sent me a PDF of all 41 pages while we were still on the phone. 41 pages. He'd drafted scripts. He'd drafted text for relatives to copy and send me directly. He had a section called, If She Still Says No, that included a plan to tell people at the rehearsal dinner that I'd cut off the family. Brinsley said she wasn't going to marry him. She said she'd known something was wrong for months. She said the deathbed thing had been the one she couldn't unhear. I thanked her. I told her I'd cover her therapy for a year if she wanted it. She cried harder and said no, she just wanted out. I emailed the PDF to my lawyer that night. I emailed copies to my Aunt Cordelia, my Uncle Mason, my mother's church friend, and every relative who'd called me. I attached one sentence. This is what he wrote about each of you. My phone rang for 2 days. Cordelia left a voicemail that was just her crying. Wells called 43 times. I didn't answer. Brinsley called off the wedding the following Monday. Wells lost his job a month later because he'd been using company time to draft the document. I don't know how his employer found out. I have my suspicions. I still own the beach house. Brinsley spent Thanksgiving there with me and my wife. She brought a pie.